All right, what's going on, guys? Today I have on the mind myself Hopkins Ebanks that has a huge, intense background of boxing from back in his day, and I want to be able to talk to him a bit about how that went, what got him into the sport of boxing, what made you decide to get into the sport of boxing. Tell me all about it.
Well, it's a little ways far back. So 7 years ago, I was about 14 years old, and as a young man coming up, just going to school and from West Bay, I would say, I just took my time and got myself into the gym, and I got comfortable in the gym, in the boxing gym. Got really acquainted with the people that were there, and I became more of wanna say a learner in that position, because my coach, he started me off as a beginner, and then we just took it off from there. And my cousin Tafari really the one that made the way for me, or paved the way for me, because I saw a future on it when I saw my cousin Tafari being already successful on it. He has already been traveling. He'd already did his fair share of boxing, and that kind of inspired me to get more in depth about it. And I kept pushing, and it got me to that point where I say, you know what, I think I can make something happen with this. And then I started seeing further and further.
So to recap on that, then you had a good influence that was in your life, which happened to be your cousin Tafari, that was doing his thing in boxing. I was traveling, competing, which I know firsthand because me and him got to travel together and have a lot of overseas experience together. So you saw him doing it, that inspired you, that motivated you, and you decided to get in. Now, did you have any experience before seeing that? Were you boxing before, or you stepped in green?
No, I stepped in green, fairly green. I didn't have no experience at all when I first started. Like I say, my coach had to teach me from the very what I know today, and I just excelled really good on it, and I just proud of that and proud of my coach, because without him it wouldn't be a lot in that aspect.
Yeah. So you being able to come from a green background, you had no experience whatsoever, but sticking with it, getting in, having a good coach allowed you to go into, you went to the Continentals, right?
Yeah, I went to Commonwealth, World Championships. I went to Olympic qualifiers, and I went all about Caribbean Championships as well. I won gold medals there, and I did fairly well in other World Championship level at a very young age too. So the sky is the limit for whoever want to just keep pushing and just keep getting inspired.
Yeah, so that says a lot right there. No experience, able to go into World Championships, able to go into Continentals, able to do, which Olympic qualifier did you do again?
Olympic qualifier.
2016.
Yeah, 2016.
So that was real.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
real.
Correct.
Yeah, so it shows. And what allowed you to be able to reach that level? I'm assuming it would, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm assuming that what every boxer says, hard work, dedication.
Yeah, well, you gotta have the mindset for it. That's one thing. And the next thing is you gotta kind of have a bigger dream than just yourself. You gotta be able to say, all right, what level I want to reach this time, every time I get into a different competition. Or you gotta have the heart as well, because a lot of people, boxing isn't a sport for everyone. Boxing is more of a I want to say a dream that people chase. And that's how I looked at it, and that's what really got me far in it.
So you made a very good point. You got to have the mindset to box. You got to have a big dream, a big vision to chase after, and you have the heart to keep going after it. Yeah, that's such a good point. You get that same revelation there and apply it other aspects of life. Have big dreams, have the heart to continue to go after it, have the mindset to be resilient, because a lot of people tend to think boxing is just physical, but as you said, it's a lot of mindset. I'm assuming you get in that ring, right? I know firsthand, when you get, your mindset has to be the one to take you through there, because Jason said it best, everyone has a plan till they get punched in the mouth. Then your mindset has to come into play. It's just from physical to mental then.
Yeah, exactly. So it comes to that point where you inside the ring, you just have to the instincts have to kick in. All the hard work that you did in the gym is where it starts to show.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it start to bring back to you like a residual income.
Mm,
You start to, your instincts start to feel more in tune with your mind state.
Yeah, all the drills that you put
Yeah.
in, the repetition, then
Exactly.
comes into play.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's such a good point, because if you're producing good habits and creating a repetition of good habits, that plays off in the ring
Yeah.
compared to if you're doing bad habits.
Yeah, correct.
Again, we relate that back to life. Good habits is going to take you forward, give you success in the ring. Bad habits are going to lead you in the wrong direction. You might be looking up at the lights.
Yeah, and it, whoever goes in that ring and they didn't do any good habits while they were out the ring, you know, it going to show.
Yeah,
it's going to show. So we going to see who really wanted it the best, who wanted it the most.
True, who wanted it the most? Who put the work in
Yeah.
when the cameras wasn't around, when the lights wasn't on? Who put the work when you're in the gym by yourself?
Because you know, a lot of boxers, they like to get in there and before the pre-fight, you know, they would like to do all that talking, say, you know, I'm the best, I do it, I've been doing this. But you know, every fight is different because it depends on you on how much amount of work you're gonna put in for this fight to get you to that next level. So every fight, you have to train as much as you can. You gotta train your mind, you gotta train, like I say, your heart. Everything comes together. So
and speaking of fighting, I want to ask, what do you, if you can recall back and think about all the fights that you had, what was your hardest fight? Who do you say was your hardest fight? Who gave you the toughest time, or who even brought out the best in you? That's actually a better question, right? Who brought out the best in you?
If you're talking about overseas competition
or AIBA competitions.
Yeah, so worldwide competitions, I want to say it's kind of funny, you know, cause that story is just, it's just in the back of my mind. Like, I can't believe I never gave it my all. And that was the only fight that I regret the most.
Which one?
Out of all my fights I had I fought against very tough fighters. All of them were tough. But the one that was the toughest was the one that I looked down on. And I underestimated him.
Interesting.
And I gave him enough to beat me.
Interesting.
So that was my regret, my biggest regret in most fights.
And which fight was that?
That was in actually a Caribbean Championship fight.
Okay.
And I won silver medal, which I could have won easily gold. But because the person who I got into the ring, once the moment I got it, I noticed how better I was, and I didn't push enough. Yeah. To win that fight, and I just kind of kept giving him coasted about it. So it was tough after to hear that I actually lost at the end of the fight.
Interesting.
Because I was like, I thought I had this in the bag. He didn't even touch me. Like, I didn't feel like I was being touched or nothing. I was like, nah, I should have won this. You know, and then me and the guy became good friends after that because we talked about it after the fight. You know, and he felt like I was holding back. And that's what really got me, you know. To this day, I regret not going my full 100% on that fight.
So other than regret, what do you think you took away from that? Or were you able to take away a lesson from that?
Yes, I was able to take a lesson from that, because from that day on, I never went into a fight without giving it my all 100%, and never underestimate any opponent, because, you know, even though they might be beginners, even though they might be pros, whatever you go in there, the kind of mindset that you go in there with, and the kind of motivation, all the discipline, all the hard work you've been putting in, you have to show it. And you can't give the other person, it would be disrespect to give the other person less than what you've been working with. True. And it disrespect to yourself and to the other person. Great point.
Yeah. And again, we get to look at those lessons and say, all that work that we put in, it is disrespectful to ourselves to not go out in the world and give our very best. Not go out in that ring and live to our full potential. And again, whether inside, whether outside the ring, that's a true point. We got to give our full potential in whatever we're going after. That's correct. That fight is not just in the ring, but that fight is every day. That fight is every week. That fight is that new competition coming up, whatever that competition may be in life. You know, it may be another competition, maybe a business, maybe a new endeavor, whatever it is, we got to go after it with full potential. The work that we put in, we got to give it all.
110%, I agree on that.
We got to give it all. You had a very interesting fight against, I think it was Venezuela. I think it was that I watched.
And
Am
the
I
World
correct?
Championships
In the
under
world.
us.
In the world.
Yeah. That fight was really interesting because this guy, he was the third best in the world, or
I remember
third or fifth best in the world, not 100% sure, but he was up in the top 10.
Yeah.
And the fact that I got in there, I did my thing, I went in there, just counter back. I did handle my punches good. He came in ready to take me out. I came in there just rumbling with him, just brawling with him. And by the end of the fight, the guy was like, "You gave me one of my toughest fights I had in a while." And the fact that he told me that, and him being, I never knew he was top 10. Or I thought he was just a regular fighter that just came here and just ready to fight.
I remember him from my career.
So
yeah, he's up there.
So he gave me that's really crazy that he gave me props for that, and then even his coaching gave me a heads up on that. And he said, keep it up because you're in a good you got a good foundation. You just gotta continue progressing,
keep putting in a hard work, dedication.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that brings me to another point here when it speaks about coaching. You mentioned that just now. Coaching in your life, I can imagine had a significant payoff for you because why? We end up having the same coach, Norman Wilson. My career wouldn't have been where it was without him. I'm sure that you feel the same way. But that just pays to say that coaching, having that person that can teach you and show you and guide you is such a big endeavor in life. That's why I'm a firm believer in I will always have coaching. I will always have mentorship because they make such a big difference. I'm a huge believer in that. Man should always have coaching. So such a good one, because he was able to take guys like us and bring us to that world level.
Yeah, to that next level. And at that time when I was fighting, just how you brought coach up is funny because that time for the World Championships, my coach, our coach that started us, he wasn't there. It wasn't him in that fight guiding me through or letting me know how the fight is going. It was a different coach that the association had brought into the island, and he was a fairly new coach, and I still wasn't used to the way how he taught things, or his mindset, or the way how he got things going. But it's sometimes the coach that you started with knows the person knows your little tricks and knows your little your ways, your styles. Yeah, so it gives it a little edge when you have that specific coach where he been with you from the ground up, build you up to the ground up, and then you at that stage now where you wanna continue. You at the top notch level, and you wanna continue to keep crossing. You understand? So at that point, I felt like the fight was good. I did pretty well on my end, but I just thought that my coach, because me and him never felt, we wasn't really connected. And we wasn't connected in those three ways. It felt like I was off a little because I didn't know what was really going on behind my back. Like I knew what was going on in front of me, but I didn't know like if he saw anything that I could adjust because the whole three fights or the whole three rounds, he will, every time I come back to the corner, he was like, "You're doing good, you're doing good." And then I never heard no criticism, so I okay, so if I'm not doing bad, then it look like I'm winning. So I don't have to do anything extra, just keep doing the same thing. So now when it come down to Coach Norman, now
he's very critical.
He's a different kind of person. He was inside there, as I'm inside the ring, I got a kick. That's his favorite line. That's his favorite. I got a kick. Because when I'm in there, it's either I'm gonna take him out or I'm gonna come out and I'm just gonna lose. I'm just gonna lose the fight. And that's something that he installed in me from day one, and I think that's what really carried me through a lot of fights and a lot of things in life in general.
Back to Coach Norman, he's such a character that holds yourself, holds us, holds Tafari, Coach Charles at such a high standard. He always expected more, and not such a good endeavor. Like that again, as you said, not just in the ring but in life, that translated over. Not just giving enough. Do more. Kick. I need more. I need more. But it's a translation over to everything. Having people like that in your corner forces you to be better. Forces you to do more.
That's correct.
I can't remember if you were there with us we had a fight in Key West. myself, Tafari. I'm trying to remember if you were there.
Yeah, I believe it was. I had a fight in Key West as well, but so I might have been there. Yeah.
And a really significant moment that I remember about Coach Norman is I hurt the guy in the first round. Anyways, didn't get the fight stopped. We went all the rounds, but I won the fight. And I could just remember my hand being raised. I'm looking over at my corner at Norman. He's just fuming, just looking at me like.
That sounds like him.
And I walked back to the corner. I said, Norman, what's wrong? He said, brother, you could have won the fight in the first round. Get out the ring. I said, but I won the fight.
Yeah.
He said, but you could have won it in the first round.
Yeah.
But he's such a man of high standard. You know?
It is because the way how he trained, like if once he see your potential, that is something that about a coach though. Like because you gotta, if you as a person, you come in and you wanna be the best at what you do. Everybody, I'm sure that everyone that comes to a point in their life where they say, all right, I wanna be better. I wanna be a better person.
Yeah.
The coach is always gonna come to you. They're gonna expect that you want to do better and better every day.
And they're gonna hold
and
you.
They're gonna hold you and force you to continue to keep doing better. And I feel like Norman, he has never been nothing less than that.
Yeah.
And for everything he do, and that just to show that, you know, he installed a lot in us, because you as a successful business owner and you as a parent, you had become a high value, and that's what push us to become better every day, you know.
Yeah. And if I could even sum that up as a value point to take away for the viewers, keep people around you that are going to hold you to a high standard, that are going to hold you accountable to living your best life, that know that you are capable of this and won't allow you to operate here. They're going to force you to here and even more. Those are the type of people you want to have in your life, because they are going to be the ones that allow you to live to your full potential and live your very best life. Hopkins, it's a pleasure having you on, my brother. Much appreciated. And thank you very much, sir.
No problem.
Guys, that was the In the Lab podcast. Had Hopkins Ebanks on this morning. I hope you guys took away some value from that. Peace and love. Have a great day.